share with you about my journey. So thank you, Nick, first of all. Yay, Nick. Thank you, Nick, for inviting me. Nick reached out to me and actually we spoke about what conversational topic is best for all of you. And I really feel that in my position and your position right now, being that whether you're a freshman or a senior about to graduate, we can definitely empathize with each other in the process of what it's like after college and getting experience and owning your own business or working for a CEO who is entrepreneurial or whatever type of venture you want to be involved with. It's definitely an adjustment. Like, I remember when I was in Student Marketing Association at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, like in between class with my friends, and then all of a sudden you have that time where you're graduating and everything shifts. So I'm going to bring you back to my high school years when I really first started in entrepreneurship. Really, I was just always a person to forge my own way, and it started off with nannying. So I was a nanny in high school and through college, and always have been a person who making my own lifestyle was just a natural option for me. And nannying gave me the tools to work with clients and learn basic business skills like scheduling, working with other people, arriving to places on time, and getting great testimonials from clients in order to book more business. Babysitting started out for me in an interesting way, like advertising a business is, positioning. So I positioned myself where my client was for nannying, and that was at gym classes. And I just started talking up how I was watching different kids and families from age 2 to 16, which is a really big age gap. And they were like, oh, you're a nanny. I need some help. I want my kids to be watched for the day and different things. So naturally just moved into that. And really in high school, actually most of my high school career drifted away from a sales associate type of job or, just working in retail type of situation, and really stuck to that because I said, I'm living a free life and I'm living a life of freedom, which is the theme throughout the journey. That's always my focus. To this day, and I even wrote this in college, I have the word freedom written in red in my desk. So every morning, my phone is in my desk, away from my bed, my alarm goes off, and I open the desk drawer and see the red words freedom, because that's how I start off my day. So going into college, I found more of a mastery for photography. Again, photography has always been an innate skill for me, where I just went out and enjoyed photographing buildings and different architecture and places. Less people, more places and objects and buildings, and I just found such a love for balance and symmetry and the artistic freedom from photography from a very young child. I stepped into a new realm of photography in college by actually getting a DSLR camera, which is a professional style camera, in order to hone a craft for specific skills. In college, I joined a photography club, and that allowed me to venture into new areas. Is photography a study here?
Yes.
Just out of curiosity? Okay, cool. So some of you may understand that as well. So was in Student Marketing Association and photography, along with opening my own business in college, right on the campus of Indiana University of Pennsylvania. There was this area, big common area. You probably have a big common area here too. It's called the Oak Grove, and that's where everyone met. That's where all the events were happening outside. And I just went on Twitter, because I was in college when Twitter was popular, so that's a few years ago. And went on Twitter and said, I'll be in the Oak Grove, come stop by for pictures, and documented my whole process being there. Because again, being business savvy, College students love Twitter. I know today they love Snapchat as well. They were always on Twitter and got into naturally working with organizations and different clubs on campus just by being there physically and documenting. I'm really big about documenting my journey through photography, video, and the written word. I have a journal that I write in every day and manifest my desires. And actually one of the manifestations when I was in college is speaking to college students. So I had no business at that time. I had the photography business in college. And I said, wow, I've learned so much in high school and college, less of the experience of academics, but more of the actual experience of being in there day to day. I went to high school at Marple Newtown, which is in Delaware County. I went to college in Indiana University of Pennsylvania, which is a 5-hour drive. So commuting back and forth at school for 4 years was a definite transition. However, it was actually very easy for me, easier than I thought, to live away at home from the comfort for 4 years. And it taught me a lot about myself. It taught me, how to live on my own, how to develop those types of skills, and really how to be reliant on myself. In this world, you will always have someone, or you may have someone who's your supporter by your side, whether it's your friends or your family. Hello, welcome. Whether it's your friends or your family, but it's really important, especially in college, to develop a sense of self and know who you are. And when I got to college, I honestly was like, who am I? I'm about to go into this world. And okay, had a nannying business, had a photography business in college, but still wasn't sure about that next step for a lifestyle for myself because, the college door was about to close. And little did I know another door soon while was going to open. And I remember my experience like clear as day towards the end of my senior year. It was raining outside, which if any of you have been to Western PA, especially Indiana, it could be rain, fog, snow, and sun in one day. That's the truth. And it was a rainy day that day, and I looked out my window and I said, there has to be something else out there for me, something else other than the traditional route of, applying to jobs, going through internships, and working my way up. There has to be something else out there for me because I've successfully ran a nannying business, worked with multiple clients at one time, 7 days a week, so developed a nice healthy lifestyle with that, developed healthy lifestyle and relationships. And healthy lifestyle meaning, yes, I ate healthy, we could talk about health in that perspective, but I also was able to balance my own schedule and really enjoy the process of working with multiple clients at one time and delighting everyone. So pleasing myself first, which is the other theme, pleasing myself, being happy with nannying or taking photography at that time when I get up in the morning, to balancing a schedule and maintaining a lifestyle that I truly enjoy and am happy to be on this earth for. So I looked out the window that day and that's when everything changed. So I was going off, time to graduate, time to, go home, pack the bags up, and off to the next chapter of what? So I didn't know. So I knew I wanted to continue being an entrepreneur, going into my own ventures. However, I, at first, kept my babysitting business up, and I did go the route of applying, right? So I was like, okay, let me apply. And then went on interviews, and I was like even debating of whether I was going to say this today, how relevant it is, but it really just ties everything all in. Went on interviews, and none of them worked out. None of them worked out. Like I went on them, I was myself. I, said everything that my heart told me to say in those situations, and it didn't work out. And I said 6 months later, all right, it's the end of the summer, time to switch directions. And it really took like a lot of mental strength and, again, knowing who you are to be able to pivot into my own business at such a, younger point in my life. But I felt very confident that that was the right path for me, and soon we'll find out how I knew that that's the right path. So I said, all right, what am I good at? What do I have skills in? And photography popped out as one. Photographed a lot of different subjects, a lot of different places and organizations. So I said, what interests me right now? And really it was architecture, so interior design, real estate, restaurants. And I took the steps of putting out my first YouTube videos. So it's on a different channel. Actually, that channel is vanished because I now have a new business channel. But we'll call these videos the underground videos because I was literally in like my backyard. Like, I don't care, this is raw. Like, I have courage to put myself out there on YouTube. I'm in my backyard and I'm about to talk about my passion for photography and my creative flair. And actually, still have the videos on my desktop. It's a great video, the scene's a little bit not correct, but it's still a great video and the message is awesome. And the most important for me was getting a message out there of courage and having that first foundation. So, opened the YouTube channel and I started working into art shows. So presented some work at art shows. Actually, I had a Behance portfolio on Adobe, and a art director at what's called RAW, Natural Born Artists, found me and approached me to be a part of the show at the Trocadero just a few years ago. And the show involved a lot of different creative artists from photography, sculptors, actors, singers, photographers, and jewelry makers, so forth, anyone who's creative with their hands. So that was a real great moment of exposure for me to say, wow, like, I'm amongst all these creative people who are within their own ventures, and this is what has been attracted to me. So that caused me to start my own website, francescaragucci.com. And let me tell you, getting the YouTube domain, francescaragucci.com, was a huge step, because even though so little, okay, let me just buy my domain, so little, my first and last name, it still made a big difference, because it just allowed me to say, whoa, this is getting serious, this is turning into more of a lifestyle, because I'm about to own a website. Same thing with email, francescaragucci.com, same thing. I was like, okay, I'm going from my personal email to a business email because I expect people to communicate with me on this. Okay, let me take a deep breath, and then I did it. I opened my email, opened my website, and that was, I'm like, that's it, I'm a business owner. It's official. And then I got into more art shows, and I said, all right, photography, okay, how am I going to evolve this into something more regular? At the time of college, graduating and going into art shows, so we're talking after college, I did work at another job, and let me tell you, I started my business in the back of my other job, okay? Started the business, I opened the web domain there, bought my email address, I wrote my first blog there, published my first YouTube video there. So this might be a little guidance for you that if you want to start your business, find a job that allows you to start it in the back. Interesting advice, but this job, actually, it was flexible enough where I worked alone in the store, And I knew when customers were coming in and out, so thankfully this store was actually one of the quieter stores. So whenever the bell rang and the door opened, I'd get up, walk to the front, take care of the customer, go back. Go back and write a blog post. So it proved to myself, there was actually moments of serenity because I was able to get out of my house and into a new environment to create. And it allowed me to explore, wow, look at this. In 6 months of working at this job, I have blog posts, I have a website running, I have people contacting me for photography. I knew ultimately that I'm going to leave this job and start my lifestyle as an entrepreneur and a business owner. And even though I'm saying the word entrepreneur right now, I didn't necessarily think that then. I said, I'm going to be in charge of my own lifestyle. I'm going to live a life of freedom. Because you only have one opportunity here. You only have one opportunity at Rutgers. You have one opportunity to be in this classroom with me. Hopefully I'll see some of you again. But so that allowed me to really be present and make sure that I'm always in alignment with my thoughts and acting of purpose. So next step, what type of businesses is going to be fruitful to actually make a living, right? Make some money, make a lifestyle, build connections. So pivoted into real estate photography. So I said there are a lot of realtors out there, a lot of properties, a lot of opportunity. Joined some networking groups and started putting myself out there more with business cards, got onto social media for business. I actually dropped social media for personal when I was in college. My senior year, I said, all right, I just wasn't in alignment with any of it anymore, so I dropped all my personal social media for a year while this transition was happening. And then I got back onto social media slowly, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, slowly as a business. And still am on as a business and post business-specific content and content that's important for my clients to know about my personality too. So started going into real estate photography, got fruitful, got some work, it became more regular, and then this happened. So my store job and my real estate photography started conflicting. So a client would call me on a day that I had to work at the store. And I said, okay, when this happens, I am not going to work at that store that day, or I'm going to change my schedule with the manager. So we called the manager at 7 o'clock in the morning. Can't go to work today, have a photo shoot. I'll see you tomorrow or the next day. And they were like, okay, because thankfully I had such a great manager at that time and came out and was honest with them about my plan for my near future. And I said, I'm still committed here. However, I am working in photography, working in my own business, Francesca Ragucci Marketing, and there will be times that I will have to change my schedule, and we gratefully worked together and made it happen for the duration of my time working there. So 1 year comes around, I worked there January to January. So the holidays came around and I said, all right, it's time to leave. It's time to put in my last few weeks, because at the time of the holiday, they invited me to go and speak to their realtors. There received my first marketing client. So you're saying to yourself, how did I go from photography to marketing? So in school I studied marketing, but I owe all of the knowledge that I learned in marketing to business coaching, as well as my own self-taught, whether it's from YouTube, looking at different people's websites, and just understanding the market, a lot of research. So that happened. I said it's time to release this store job, and the manager and I said, yes, it's time for you to go. They're very supportive, and I put in my last few days there and opened my business for good, which was it took a lot of time. It took time, and I like constantly checked in with myself and my feelings. How do I feel about, giving time to the store over giving time to my own self and my own business? And it started to feel uncomfortable for me. And at that time, when the job was released, I gained some more business, and opportunity came, and more marketing clients came. It wasn't like whoosh, I left and like all these clients came. It took time. It took a lot of time and dedication and discipline. And being on my own allowed me to shift my lifestyle. I was already watching TV less. I was already eating healthy. I developed a discipline of going to the gym, which is one of the first disciplines that I can actually say helps me, still helps me to this day. I love working out. And the discipline helped with focus on what do I want for my future, and whether it's future a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. I am more the person, and like this can be helpful for you too. You're probably getting asked all the time, what's your 5-year plan? Some of your jobs may ask you that. You may ask yourself that. That's like a common phrase in this society. However, yeah, 5-year plan is great, 1-year plan is great, but I know myself, and I know that taking advantage of the moment and putting that YouTube video out, or working on client projects, or speaking here at Rutgers University is going to help my life in the future and really help evolve that person. And just being attuned with who you are the whole time and your feelings. You are going to be uncomfortable. Like I know I said uncomfortable. You are going to be uncomfortable. When I first spoke on YouTube, I was literally like this. I had no personality, even though I'm full of personality. I had no personality. I was just staring at the camera. I was looking to the left and the right, and started building some confidence on YouTube. Started building confidence at client presentations. Confidence speaking in front of you. It's important for, again, that sense of self and knowing who you are. Are you the type of person who wants to give presentations or start your own business or work collaboratively with different people? And owning a business is giving me the opportunity to do all of that. There are some clients I have that we work together individually. There are some clients who have teams. We work with teams. So at my business, I have clients in different areas: hotel, residential, living, restaurants, interior design, and more. Though that is our focus right now, and gratefully have grown nationally from Los Angeles to Boston and in between. And that's been, like, again, going back to this after graduation, not knowing what was next for me, to a couple years later, gaining a client in Los Angeles, gaining some clients in Boston and in New England and in the Philadelphia area. And that happened just from focus, from saying, okay, I want to grow nationally. How am I going to grow nationally? How am I going to position myself? Developing a brand. You see, this is my logo. Developing a logo, like that goes along with the website, like francescaragucci.com. Okay, what am I going to call my business? Francesca Ragucci Marketing. Developing the font. Font's really important with branding. What is my message? What is it as a person when I'm communicating with you or my clients? Or when you're looking at this picture of me or my YouTube, it all has to be in alignment, and it's constantly checking in with yourself. So, want to talk about a little bit more about the business, and then we can move into some questions, okay? So this actually is a beautiful piece from a business partner on the main line, Pennsylvania. This is awesome. You can definitely take some pictures for Instagram of it if you'd like. Recently have been involved with a lot of press. So a magazine in Los Angeles called Voyage Los Angeles found me on Instagram, the power of social media, and wrote a very nice article about me. Got involved in podcasts, articles, and guest featurings on other people's YouTube and Facebook Lives. And this happened just from pursuit, my own pursuit, like podcasts nationwide, female podcasts, creative podcasts, just Googling all these different topics and writing down and crafting a message, right? Like you craft cover letters, crafting a message, selling yourself a little bit, and putting it out there, all that information out there, and seeing what comes back. And throughout the journey of like getting my own domain, to my first photography client, to my first property, to the properties I photograph now, which we'll take a look at some of them, and the restaurants. We've gotten into some nice restaurants as well. It's like, whoa, like evolution is happening, growth happens. You are going to grow as a person and as a business person from your time now to a year from now to a few months from now, and just take it all as a learning experience. Take it as a learning experience, but I knew the entire time and even today that this is what I am put here to do, to be of service to you all, as someone, to look to be of service to clients. My clients are my biggest mentors. They are people who I learn from each day. They learn from me, and we grow together. Yeah, there's challenges. There's definitely challenges in owning a business, but I'll take all those challenges over and over again, because a challenge, when that happens with a client, the client wants to see, or the collaborative group wants to see, how you work through that challenge and overcome it. And we oftentimes have turned challenges into triumphs, and that's what got me to my next level of going nationwide and working with higher profile clients and public influencers. I was like, all right, I want to get some nice blazers. So I love fashion. Actually, in middle school, I wanted to be a fashion designer. That was my first career choice. However, I wasn't that good at drawing, so I said, okay, not a career choice anymore. But I still have fashion as an influence. Another great thing about owning your own business is you're able to dictate your style. So I say, what is my style? It's grown to, yes, this is a signature blazer, this is a signature look. I wear it out a lot, so the recognition comes into play. People recognize me. You recognize me because 1, 2, 3, and it's on the picture. So I do strategically plan my outfits, and will be very simple when it comes to style. Right now, I really like white and black, and I like the way it looks. A part of it is because I will match anyone, anyone in any scene. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
So, no matter what, are you in work, or what do you want to do? Or do you have an idea?
I'm figuring it out.
Okay.
I know it sounds really generic. I would say I like human resources a lot.
Okay.
But everything is up in the air. I'm pretty much at a, figuring out what direction I'm going to take.
Sure. So whatever type of, whether you're in an agency or a corporation, however explorative that you can be in those types of places, or you're an entrepreneur, explore with your style, but definitely, I say, pick something that's signature to you. I even have a signature fragrance. I even, I have a fun story behind the colors, the black and the gold. Because as I was, and this is again the creation of my brand, I was like, what colors am I going to choose? Because I knew black, because black is such a dominant color and it stands out. And I said, what goes really well that's elegant and sophisticated? And I said, gold, it goes so well. I said, yes, this is the colors, and they've been the colors ever since. So there's a little bit of that fashion influence in there. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. It does.
Hi.
My name's Amaya. I'm a marketing student here.
Amaya, hi.
So I know that growing the business, there's a lot of trade-offs for entrepreneurs. So I was just wondering, what's non-negotiable for you as being your own entrepreneur?
So what do you mean, non-negotiable? In what regard?
When you're growing your business, and then you need someone, you need something, or you're working with a client and they want you to lower your prices.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so we have standards, right? So we all have standards for relationships, whether it's male or woman, friend, parents, coworkers, people we're working with. So my standards for clients, they evolve. You know, one of the standards for me is time. So I really weigh out my time and I say, okay, for this job, right, this photography job, or whether we're working with a new marketing client, how much time are they going to require? Because time dictates the investment. Are they going to communicate with me by text, email, phone call? I'm an email person when it comes to clients. So, you know, at the beginning of a monthly relationship with a client, one of our plans is a monthly marketing plan. That's where we work with our clients on a monthly basis. I lay out, yes, in a contract, I lay out, this is when you're able to contact me, this is how we communicate, this is how we check in via phone or by email or when it comes to deadlines. However, we always reiterate that balance and those standards that we have of expectation. And the client also comes into a relationship with expectations. What works well in communication is balancing those expectations and always respecting each other. So non-negotiables equals respect. Having them equals respect and credibility in your field, and that person will really respect your time and energy being there. You know, if you say, I'm going to an appointment and I'm going to be there for an hour, that's me with a non-negotiable, as an example. So does that answer your question?
So time is very sacred to you.
Oh yeah, time is very sacred right now. And guess what? When it's time to go to the gym, I'm not, you know, sometimes I'm answering a client call right before I walk in the gym. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm picking up the phone on a Saturday. Sometimes I'm emailing on a Saturday. Sometimes I'm not. You know, it really is dependent on what's going on in my life at that time, the client and their needs. You know, typically I like have a cutoff time for the night with answering email. Because at first I didn't, and it was getting to be like very around the clock, and I was like, okay, time to like balance it out and say what's going to work for me. And this is not a 9-to-5 lifestyle. So we are helping our clients on the weekends. We are communicating 7 days a week. But that's something that I signed up for, and I'm really grateful to go through that. And it's going to evolve. Thanks. Thank you.
So I think it's really easy for people to glorify being an entrepreneur. I mean, it's an amazing thing, but it's hard work, right? And the spotlight usually ends up on people who become multimillionaires versus the people who don't do well at it. So, you know, it's not just at the beginning that it's hard, it's throughout, whether you're scaling, entering a new market, trying something you've never done before. So were there ever moments where you just thought to yourself, like, I'm in over my head, this is too much? And what did you do to get past those moments?
So, what's your name?
Danielle.
Danielle asked that entrepreneurship is glorified, which it is. You can see it anywhere on Instagram or on YouTube or websites. There are a lot of entrepreneurs. And what am I doing when I hit those bumps where I say, how can I move past this? Whether it's a challenge with a client or something that's going on in my life. And there have been a lot of those. So early on, I used to worry and be so concerned about every little email or every little piece of communication that's gotta be right, it's gotta be perfect. This flyer has to be perfect the first time. So I strive for perfection way too much. And like every time the client would say, okay, well, let's try this flyer a different way, or, oh, can you send me different options for photography? I wanted to react a certain way, but then I taught myself that it's not the end of the world if you have to change a flyer, or, you know, a social media campaign goes out. and one person like didn't see it in their email. Because another thing is, when you're communicating with 5 people on one email chain, it gets a lot of communication in there. So, you know, I always check in with myself. I only have control over my own actions, not everyone else's actions who's involved. So that goes back to having balance, and it's less of balance, like not like work-life balance, but balancing out all the clients and all the passion projects and being here and speaking and saying, okay, I'm at Rutgers. I'm not answering my emails right now. Email is off to the side. Client work is off to the side. Why? Because I already communicated with my clients that I'm out of office today. So it goes hand in hand with, yeah, I'm going to run into other situations where, okay, something different should have happened to get to this outcome. However, we're still getting to the same outcome, and it's always a learning experience. And those are the situations where I say, challenge gets to triumph. And it's helped me become a better person, communicate clearly, especially through email, read through my email a couple of times instead of once and send it out and say, oh, I should have said something else. You know, realtors or interior designers, restaurant owners, a lot of them are very on the go. So they're answering emails with their iPhone or just texting. So it comes down to staying in focus. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Thanks. Any other questions?
What do you, like your daily experience through the day at work?
What's like a day in the life?
Yeah.
What day?
They're all so different, but like what's an example of a day that you went through at work?
A day that I went, like what's an example of a day at work?
Yeah, a day at work.
A day at the office. Okay, so we'll just talk about a day, like a day at my office where I'm there all day. So, first of all, I love to start off the day with some tea or some lemon water. I always drink water all day. So, I have a priorities list, and it's important, urgent, not important, urgent, not urgent, important, and that's a Steve Covey for quadrants, to look that up. And I take care of that the night before. That way when I get up in the morning and I start working, I say, okay, these are my priorities for the day so far, right? Before anyone emails me. I always post on social media in the morning. I have set times to post for myself and my clients all on social media. We have that scheduled out. Typical days is I'll take podcasts right from my office. Someone will call me to interview. We will Skype in the office our clients who are on the West and East Coast. And when it comes to projects, just focusing on what are the priorities for the day. Right now we're working on some really grand projects. So we work with clients who, just to give a little bit, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, just to give a little bit of a preview, our clients work in some of the most grand estates in the state, in the city, in very highly regarded areas, as well as hotels and hotel residencies. So we're going through a process with them of selling that house or selling that hotel to someone who is in the area or outside of the area. And that involves a lot of strategic planning and creative energy, whether it is communication or preparing client presentations or being creative, like with flyers and graphics. And one other thing, like towards the end, that we could do is I'll show you some of the work, some of the Instagram accounts, so you can see what they look like and what their brands stand for. And I only see in my business that we're moving up in that direction. The next with the website is we are going to redesign the whole copy so it reflects who our current clients are today. And I like to say our current clients are people who work with integrity and courage, because that's what I stand for. So that's what my clients stand for. And going out there in this universe with that type of message and client, that's all I desire. because it's easy to say, oh, my client lives here, my client lives there, create a client profile. But what is their mentality? Does that answer your question? Well, I'm here. This is another day. So I really love like being here and talking at different colleges. One of my dreams is to go back to my college at one point and talk to them and just continue to get my message out there. Does anyone else have questions? Hi.
Have you considered like social media marketing, like to get more items and like to scale?
Do I consider social media marketing as a way to get more clients?
Yeah.
100%. Oh yeah. The way I gain clients is through social media. So social media for business is a savior because it allows us to communicate with those who matter to us in business every single day on a regular basis. We get to share our information, we get to share our message, we get to share our speaking opportunities and be very creative. We get to create experiences for our clients. And my business has been an experience, my realtor client, they're an experience, hotel client, they're an experience, and so forth. It's less about selling your service and always selling, but more so creating an experience and a lifestyle behind what you're selling. So a lot of my first clients and other opportunities like press, like here at Rutgers, and different like ventures that I've done on YouTube with other business owners have scaled through social media, and that's how we gain visibility. So, you know, my projection is I only continue to see Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat being great modes of communication for all of us because you're able to connect with anyone from anywhere, and it's such a cool opportunity. It's a really great time to be an entrepreneur and someone in business today. Does that answer your question? Thank you. What's your name?
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel? Thank you. Does anyone have another question? Hi.
Hi, my name is Christian, and I'm just curious to know, knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently in college?
I kind of predicted this question. I said, what do I think they're going to ask me? And that was one of them, so you read my mind. What would I tell myself in college?
Yeah.
You know what? I would tell myself that everything's going to work. Everything's going to work out exactly the way you have planned it. I would not change any single thing that I did in college when it comes to developing my business or my mindset outside of college, because I did everything and I felt everything exactly the way I myself now, a few years later, have like felt for myself in college, empathized for myself a few years ago. So nothing would change, and I would tell myself that everything is going to, like, you're on your journey. You're on your journey, just keep going. Because that time after graduation to starting my business and leaving the store job was very hard, and it was very challenging in a way because at that point, there was no proof, right? There was no cool speaking engagements or websites and clients. So it was all just an idea and a concept and, oh my gosh, journals and business plans on paper and different things that I put together myself. But now I can look and I say, wow, look at the courage that I had at that time in my life. And that's all I had was courage. So, and then it got me here, so I'm so grateful. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
Carolyn, so I like how you related that photography was something that you always wanted to do, that you always was attracted to. And I find myself as well doing that. And
Photography?
yeah, photography.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so these past couple of years, I haven't been able to do photography because of my academics. So my question is, so you were able to create your business on campus?
Yeah. So I too had academics, so marketing class, I had to take some general ed classes all through college. So are you asking me how? Okay, so Tumblr was really popular when I was in college. Is Tumblr still popular? Okay. Tumblr, like, because of the images and the way they look, that got me inspired for photography. So I'd say pick whatever is inspiring you for photography. What type of subjects do you like?
Kind of like you. I really like taking pictures of buildings and nature.
Sure.
Stuff. I try to do the portraits and family events or
Okay.
corporation events. But I kind of felt like I enjoyed it, but not as much as I like because I actually went to Paris. And so at that time when I was taking pictures, I actually loved just looking at it. I said, oh, I can use that as a poster or a postcard, or I can use probably advertise this when I first start up my business.
So what you can do right now is you have a schedule, you know when you're going to class, you know when you're with your friends or whatever. When are those free hours? Whether they're in the morning, they may be sporadic during the day, or at night. Give yourself a discipline. I'm going to photograph 1 hour a week. I'm going to photograph 1 hour a day. Whatever that looks like for you, and whether you're conveniently in Rutgers, or you're in the city, or when you're going home, map out where you're going to go. Walk around. Take your camera. Your camera will tell you what to photograph. Like, I had that connection with my camera because that's how you are as a photographer. You get very friendly with your camera, and whenever you're out just walking around, even when you go from class to class, have your camera with you, because you may get out of class early. I got out of class early sometimes with college. Get out of class, you're 10 minutes early, you have 20 minutes in between class. Take some pictures. Take some pictures of some of your friends or some people walking or some of the buildings. Put it on Instagram, put it on Twitter, edit it, whatever type of editing programs that you like. Develop a discipline and put it into your schedule. Whether you have to write it down on your iPad or put it in a calendar, or you were supposed to photograph that day but your friend invited you out, tell your friend tomorrow, because again, you as college students, you only have so much time because academics are a priority, or your curriculum or your other activities. So fit it into your day, because if it matters, it will work itself out. Does that answer your question? Thank you. You are welcome, and any of you are welcome to, after we're done, grab some business cards. You can come up here and look, I'll tell you when, and look at some of the articles. We can take some pictures if you want, Instagram video, whatever. I'm really open. Actually, Nick can give me a little time when we have 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm gonna do like a quick selfie video with everyone in the background, and we're gonna cheer 100 video because of my 100th video. Okay? Does anyone have questions?
I have a last question.
Yes.
So, you talk a lot about finding yourself and aligning with yourself, your thoughts, your feelings. And you talked about a time when you were more rigid, where, you had to have perfect flyer, the perfect, everything had to be perfect. Did you transition that through besides your journey? Like, I guess my other question too is, that rigidness, was it because you didn't want to show
Well, the
weakness?
rigidness was me being a little hard on myself to perform. So, it is, I put more pressure on myself at the beginning just to cut for a minute so we can get everyone on the same page here. Yeah, because, oh my gosh, my first client, my first photography project, have to get this right, have to be good, have to. So I thought a lot than actually being creative and going through what I knew in my heart that, okay, I got this. Now I'm at the point where I'm less of a perfectionist and everything has to be perfect, where I'm like, okay, let me communicate the way that works. I already have, and experience has gotten me to this point too. Is that
That's
answer your
clear.
question,
That's
or do
clear.
you have a follow-up?
At the start of you being more rigid, were you scared to fail? Were you scared of showing weakness? And have you grown from that?
Wow, that's a good question. Weakness, right? Do any of us want to appear weak? Wow, I'm so thankful that everyone answered. That's awesome. No, right? It's scary, to be honest. It's like, and every day, like I'm stepping into, like this is a new environment for me. It's a little bit, it was a little bit like nerve-wracking, and you get anticipation, and you get excited, and all these feelings overcome you. So to stay on track with your question, which was, again, I'm sorry.
Were you scared to show weakness and
Was I scared to show
and
weakness?
fail when you first started?
I never even thought about being scared to show weakness because from the beginning, I knew this was always a destiny for me. And I said, I'm here for a reason. I am at this speaking engagement at this real estate company and have just a couple of clients for a reason because I'm being put in front of it. So whenever these opportunities come up and you would think like, okay, it's new, you're not familiar with it, the weakness may show, that's when the strength and the courage has overcome. Courage has always overcome my weakness, so whenever that point of fear comes to me, it's courage that brings me out of it, and it's those times where I had no business and all I had was an idea. Another thing was, I am an actor, and not like a real actor, but I act and I'm not speak, and even to this day. So I didn't talk up my business to all my friends and family when I first started. I said not a word to anyone, and I just worked, I'm still just working. And then, boom, all of a sudden, like, people from my high school and my college and people who, saw me on social media are like, oh my gosh, how'd you get there? Because I never said one thing. All I did was put in the work, and all the action I'm still taking is putting in the work and putting out the videos, and all of a sudden, boom, they see that I'm speaking at Rutgers today. Because even though like they may be someone from high school or college who just popped back in and said, wow, look at you, you're awesome, how did you do all that? I'm so grateful for that, because that's like a little like from the universe saying like you're supposed to be here. So it's really cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is your like 5-minute warning.
5 minutes warning. Do we have any last questions?
I just wanted to say something. Thanks for flipping off of what Tiffany asked you about her photography. Like, I'm creative too, as you are. And as of last year, I was really nervous about being a marketing major because I didn't know specifically what I wanted to do. And that freaked me out so much. And then that's when I started to do a minor in visual studies. And then I found out that I love web design. And one of my big goals this semester is creating a blog about it, because I like to cover. I like to consult people, so I wanted to make it about that. And it's just like I haven't dedicated my time to it, and I'm already like halfway through the semester. So just like you telling us to dedicate, an hour a day, an hour a week towards that was helpful. So
Yeah.
my time for my goal this semester.
I hope that works out for you. And whatever dedication means, it may be less TV, it may be less friends, it may be less parties. I don't know, whatever that looks like for you. Okay.